students, welcome to the online session for the subject of industrial safety. These are the virtual classes for the subject of industrial safety. The subject of industrial safety is mainly for the students of civil engineering, particularly structural engineering and mechanical engineering. So here we will be discussing all the topics that are related to the subject of industrial safety. So now we will be starting with our session. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. Hello students, welcome to the online session for the subject of industrial safety. Today our topic is wear and corrosion and the prevention methods. We are now in the chapter number 2 for the subject of industrial safety. We have already completed the wear topic of this chapter. We have already started the corrosion topic of this chapter. Now we will be moving towards the further topic of the corrosion prevention methods and the corrosion. Today we will be discussing some types of corrosion. Previously we have already started. We have listed in the previous session. Now we will be discussing some other type of corrosion in this session. And then we will be moving towards the method for the prevention of the corrosion. So let's start with today's session. First of all, we will see the outline. The outline is nothing but the type of corrosion. All the types that we have listed in the previous session will be discussing in this session. Some of them we will be discussing in this session, and some of them we will be discussing in the next session. So let's start with today's first type of corrosion, and the first type of corrosion is the transgranular or the intragranular corrosion. This is a different type of corrosion. This is spreading in all the direction and it is indirectly affecting the metallurgical properties of the metal. It is not a selective type of corrosion, but the thing that differentiates it from the another is the spreading. This type of corrosion spreads in all the direction. Over each and every granular of the metal will be affected by this type of corrosion. And as each and every part, or we can say that each and every small granular is affected by this corrosion, this type of corrosion is termed as the transgranular or the intragranular corrosion, because the even small granules are also getting corroded by the effect of this kind of corrosion. By this only it is defined, or you can say that it is designated as the intergranular corrosion. This is how it is named, because the thing that defines it is nothing but the propagation. The propagation of the corrosion towards the each and every grains, a small grains of this metal will be affected by the corrosion. And by this only, we are designating this type of corrosion as a transgranular or the intergranular, or you can say that intercrystalline corrosion. This is also a spreading type of corrosion, that is uniform type of corrosion, but its way of spreading is different, and that is why it is termed as the intercrystalline or the intergranular corrosion. Summarizing this type of corrosion, we can say that spreading of the corrosion to each and every grains of the metal will be the intergranular type of corrosion. So this is this type of corrosion. Moving towards the next type of corrosion. Next type of corrosion is the exfoliation corrosion. The name only suggests that exfoliation is taking place. Here, the corrosion is a kind of a selective type of corrosion. It is a kind of a selective type of corrosion that is propagating. It is propagating towards the large number of planes of the metal. Once it is being propagated, there will be larger number of small planes that is coming into its way, and it will not corrode this metal, or we can say that the planes directly. But the thing that happens because of the occurrence of such type of corrosion will be the pulling of the planes, the peeling of the planes. The pulling and the peeling of the planes used to occur in the type of corrosion. And as a result of this, the peeling of the planes that is coming in this direction, the planes that are coming in the direction of the rolling of this corrosion will occur. And as a result of this, exfoliation will take place. The planes that are coming in between will be coming out. It is affected, it will be peeling it off from the surface. It will be pushed away from the surface. And as a result of this, the swelling used to take place. And hence, we can say that the corrosion on the metal has taken place. So this is how the exfoliation used to take place. Once the peeling it off or the pushing it off or the removal of the planes takes place, then we can say that the exfoliation has occurred. And by this only, such type of corrosion is named as the exfoliation corrosion. Basically here, the swelling of the metal surface will take place. And as a result of this, the corrosion will be formed. So this is how the damage occurs because of such kind of corrosion. And that is why it is termed as an exfoliation corrosion. Not much chemical reactions are involved in this type of corrosion, but the highly damage to the surface of the metal is occurring. Damage will be in the form of peeling off, either in the form of removal of the plane from the surface, pushing it off the surface, or we can say that the disruption of the surface used to take place. Physical damage is much more than the chemical damage. And as a result of this, the material will be lost, irregularity of the material will be found, and as a result of this, the corrosion will be taking place. This was the exfoliation corrosion. Moving towards the next type of corrosion, that is the stress corrosion. The name only suggests that the stress is being occurring. Because of the stress that are found in the metals or the object where the stress is being found, there the corrosion used to take place. Corrosion is mainly taking place because of the stress that is being found. And it is a kind of a combined stress. We can say that the bending stress and the tension stress that has been found in the metal will be resulting the stress corrosion. Because of the combined effect of the tension stress and the bending stress, the corrosion will take place. Single way it will not happen. But on the combination of these two type of stresses, the corrosion will take place. Briefly discussing this stress corrosion, the manufacturing of the metal is highly affecting the stress corrosion. Why? We all know that metals are being formed in the cold form method. Metals are made in a cold working method. And mainly the manufacturing, all the parts will be equally heated. But when the time comes of cooling, each and every parts of the metal will not get cooled equally. Some part of the metal that is being exposed to the environment will cool earlier than the other parts that are not directly exposed to the environment. And because of this unequal cooling, the residual stress are being found. We can say that the residual stress are being found in the inner curved flanges. The inner portion of the metal, or we can say that the inner curved parts of the material or the metal, there the stresses will be found. And as a result of this, the inner curved portion will act as the anode, and the other portion which have been cooled and where the residual stress has not been found will termed as the cathode. And by this, a galvanic cell will be formed. And by this, we all know that by formation of the galvanic cell, the corrosion will act. This is how the stress corrosion is occurring in a metal. So the key components of this stress corrosion is the residual stress. Because of the formation of the residual stress, the stress corrosion used to take place. As a result of this, disruption of the overall material will take place and damage will occur to the overall metal. So this was the stress corrosion. Moving towards the next type of corrosion, that is the crevice corrosion. Here the key component is the crevices, the small gaps that has been found in the metal or the material or the machine or the equipment. There, because of these crevices, because of the formation of these crevices, the crevices corrosion is occurring. The crevice is creating a condition for the corrosion. Let us have a brief discussion on these crevices. Crevices are mainly found in a machine where the joints are being found. At the joints, the crevices will be there. At the joints, we have a bolt jointing, we have the welding jointing, and we also have the rivet joints. So at that point, some gaps will be found. And once it is exposed to the environment, then their gaps will not be equally exposed. Means we can say that any kind of a solution or any kind of when gases can't pass through that crevices, and as a result of this, isolation will be found, separation will be found. That crevices, the condition that crevices will be different from the other parts of the machine or the equipment. And because of this difference in the condition of the crevices and the other parts, the electrochemical cell will be found. We can say that because of this, the galvanic cell conditions will be formed. Once the galvanic cell type of conditions are formed, then corrosion will occur. So, because of the formation of the crevices in any kind, either it is in the joints or either it is because of the damage, the formation of crevices creates such kind of different conditions. And because of these different conditions, either in the form of from the atmosphere, either from the atmospheric point of view or from the electrolyte point of view, or the concentration of the electrolyte at the particular locations point of view, the corrosion will occur. So this is how the crevice do affect in the formation of the corrosion. So this was the crevice corrosion. Moving towards the next type of corrosion, that is the galvanic corrosion. Here, the key component is the dissimilarity in the materials. When the two materials is having the different properties, or we can say that the two dissimilar materials are being dipped in the same solution, then under such conditions, the galvanic corrosion will occur. And as a result of this, the other metal will not corrode right away, but the protected zone, or we can say that the protected layer will be removed. And by this, the chances of the occurrence of the corrosion will take place. This corrosion itself is different from the another type of corrosion. And it is necessary that if they are placed separately, then the care should be taken. So this is how the galvanic corrosion used to take place. Now, on brief discussion of this kind of corrosion, we can say that when the cathode that is being used, or we can say that the cathode that is being formed in the corrosion type of condition, if it is a less reactive metal, and if the anode is a more reactive metal, and once we are passing the electric current to this kind of circuit, or we can say that such kind of arrangement, then galvanic corrosion will definitely take place. So this is how the corrosion used to take place. So the reactivity, or we can say that the reactivity of the metals do matter. And the thing then we can do to prevent such kind of condition is nothing but we need to increase the area of the anode. By increasing the area of the anode in comparison to the cathode, we can reduce the intensity of the corrosion. The corrosion intensity can be reduced by increasing the size of the anode, because there is a point that the surface area do matters. So by doing this, by increasing the surface area of the anode, we can reduce the intensity of the corrosion, and by this the galvanic corrosion can be prevented. This is how the galvanic corrosion occurs. Moving towards the next type of corrosion, that is the erosion. So when the erosion, or we can say that when a corrosion is mainly taking place because of some moving media. Moving media can be either wind, either it is the flow of the river, or we can say that the flow of the water through pipes. Yes. So by flowing media, whatever the corrosion that is being taking place will be the erosion type of corrosion. And this is highly related to the flow of the material. Velocity of the material, flow of the material, concentration of the material do matters, and it also affects the intensity of the occurrence of the corrosion. Mainly by flowing of the water through the material or the pipe, the thinning of the material, for example pipe, used to take place. As a result of this, the scratches will be formed on the surface, the gullies will be formed on the surface, the undulations will be formed on the surface. As a result of this, removal of the material used to take place. And as a result of this, the corrosion will take place. The key component of the erosion type of corrosion is the impact load. Because of the impact of the moving of the material through the pipes or through any kind of the metal will cause the erosion. And as a result of this, some of the material will be removed, the overall area of the surface of the pipe or the metal will be reduced. And as a result of this, a time will come then it will not be able to take its load. And in that cases, the breakage will occur. So, mainly such kind of erosion used to take place only in the direction in which the material is flowing. And this is how the erosion used to take place. The intensity of the erosion can be reduced by reducing the velocity of the material that is being passing through that metal or this pipe, can reduce the occurrence of the erosion corrosion. And this is how the prevention used to take place. Here the prevention should be done at an early stage only, because the flow will be moving continuously, and as a result of this we will not get a time to repair it after some time. And also we can say that the flow will be disrupted, the spoiling of the metal or the material will take place. It will, the dust or we can say that the dirty water or any kind of a sludge water that is being passing through can come out, and that can cause other damage also. So it is necessary that such kind of damage should be rectified at an early age only. This is how the corrosion used to take place. So this was our last type of corrosion in this session. There are some type of corrosion we are left, that will be done in the next session. So thank you for attending this session. See you in the next session. Hello students, so hereby we are coming to the end of our virtual class session of the subject of industrial safety. We have discussed a lot regarding the topics of the today's session. So if you have any kind of a doubts, if you have any kind of queries, you can send me your doubts and queries via mail. My mail ID will be in my channel. So check into my channel, like it, and mail me whatever the doubts you have. And thanks again for attending the session. See you in the next session.